Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I created Magic and Miracles with one purpose only: to help people of all walks of life all around the world achieve their manifestation goals and dreams. True story. All the information from me is below. The process of coaching with me is very unique in that it's very detail oriented and very meticulous. It has 3 stages. It's symbolic because I always custom make my coaching for my client with their needs in mind. However, first things first, we cover the drama mama panorama, as I call it, everything that has been going on thus far, all the experiences that have shaped you, that have shaped your beliefs. I'm interested in everything. No detail is too small because it helps me to get to know you. And we process the emotions associated with those incidents, with those events. Those emotions right now, they keep you stuck on that parallel timeline in which you no longer want to reside. The emotions, they need to be processed and let go of. All right, so that's what I specialize in doing. After processing the emotions and therefore your canvas, so to speak, being wiped clean as much as possible, you're always a masterpiece in progress, all right? But as much as possible, then we embark on this journey of I teach you every single tool, every single jewel box that I have created during the last 10 years of my coaching career, as well as during the last 15 years of my personal journey. I took my own deep dive 15 years ago and had to go through the same exact process, and I constructed it meticulously with somebody in mind who doesn't want another word salad, who just needs practical steps to implement in their everyday life. And so a child can do it the way that I explain it. This is how easy it really is. It isn't easy, I should say. It's simple, but the steps are really easy to follow. There is that. I also teach energy work, something that no coach on planet Earth teaches it the way that I do. And I've done my research during the last 10 years and the 15 years for sure. This is something that really creates magic in your life, manifestation on steroids, as it were. And it's a tool that you can use in your everyday life. Again, all the tools that I give you out of my treasure box, my jewel box, it's very easy to follow, but you need to implement them in your life after you are wiped clean of your mama drama panorama. In order to be in my coaching, you need to first book a 1 hour session in which we rendezvous and simply make sure that we're a good match so that you feel like this is a good investment for you, all right? That you definitely resonate with my teachings, definitely have made yourself familiar with more than one video of mine. Okay, my predecessor channel is linked down below. I had some 22,000 subscribers until the haters hijacked it, but here we are starting over, and I'm actually really loving the energy on this channel, this new channel, not for nothing. So it was for a reason. Everything happens for a reason, and actually quite glad because the energy here feels really otherworldly, really different, really precious. Okay, I'm feeling the energy. I always channel from my channel. I always channel in my coaching. And so I'm feeling this energy being completely different, of a different caliber, really rich, really sophisticated, not in money terms, but in a very kind of other level kind of energy. So please make sure you make yourself familiar with my work, make sure I resonate once more, then book the session, sign the coaching agreement. And after the session is complete, you need to book what's called a signature coaching package, all right? In this coaching package, we rendezvous 3 times per week. I operate with this intensity on purpose because I really need to snap you out of your dysfunction and attack your old belief system with this intensity. Believe me, I know what I'm doing. I've done this for 10 years with thousands of people, and it really does work. 2 to 3 months is what I recommend in this coaching process. By the time the third month rolls around, I usually, not for everybody, depends on the situation, but I usually downgrade the person to at least 2 times per week. It depends again on the situation, but there are other packages and other options available, all right? Usually, after people complete my coaching, sometime down the road, maybe 6 months in, down the road, or a year down the road, people sometimes come back for touch-ups. But at that point, you're not the same person. I have quantum leaped you successfully to another timeline, to the timeline that I refer to as the Golden Buddha timeline, the original blueprint of your life that you're supposed to live out now. Things are supposed to work out for you in your favor. Things are supposed to work the way that you want them to. You're supposed to be happy, in other words. So if you are not getting your results right now, let me help you. I have a very direct approach. Please, again, get familiar with my personality. The reason I'm this truthful and direct, first of all, that's my personality. Don't know any other way to be. Second, chances are you're on your, I don't know what, 18th coach now who, kind of like promised you the world that didn't deliver because they really specialize out there. I've done my research again on superficial tricks of the trade. They don't fucking work. You can't put a band-aid on a huge wound and pretend you've done your fucking job. All right. So this is why I pride myself in my meticulous and the deep dive process. And if you really take this journey, and if you really come humble and honest and deliver your homework at the end of each session, I give you homework, you will succeed. There's no chance for you to not succeed. You will always succeed. There's no such thing as failure when you really deliver this quality of work, when you really are present, when you really are honest again and humble and take my direction. All right. I don't tell you what to do. It's not a dictatorship by any stretch of the imagination, but I always suggest. So if you take my advice, you will succeed. Now, I wanted to remind everybody the members only live is on Saturday now. So book your spot, book your monthly membership. It's going to be well worth your time. This is your introduction into my coaching, maximum group of 5. So first come, first serve in that sense. Book your spot. It's $250 for the month, and it will be 4 lives a month in that sense. You can ask your questions. It will be on Zoom. I will give you advice. And of course, I will show up with my topic, and the topic is the extraordinary power of telepathy. I will have plenty of notes, but again, I will be there mostly to support you and guide you. And if you're new, as usual, big thumbs up and big subscribe and smash that bell button for notifications whenever I come up with new material or post whatever. So the topic of today, I'm really inspired to channel this message for you guys tonight because I really feel that it will hit home with a lot of people. Your SP isn't punishing you. So again, in my coaching, I deal with a lot of people with SP problems predominantly. But what I always say is that SP is just the tip of the iceberg. Okay, there are other problems, usually self-esteem, self-confidence, the way you live, the living situation, the money you make or don't make, etc., etc., etc. So SP, in fact, is just a symptom of the overall state of your being, currently, the current reality, the current timeline, all right, that you occupy, the story, the cycle that perhaps, chances are, very high chance, you've been living out for years, decades, maybe all your life. All right. So please be easy on yourself and please be patient and still stay until the end because this is going to be gold for you. Right now, you may find yourself in a situation that's quite uncomfortable, rather uncomfortable indeed. All right. You don't have them. You haven't heard from them. They're with a third party. They're not behaving the right way, etc. You name it. Okay. I've dealt with all sorts of situations. Now, the only exclusion that I make is that if they were abusive towards you. Okay. And I think abuse, it goes like this, right? If somebody is deliberately treating you in a really nasty way and they continue pretending like everything is okay, everybody makes mistakes. But if somebody is aware of the fact that they're hurting you and they continue hurting you, that's abuse, all right? Whether that's physical, emotional, mental, you name it. And I can speak to that because I've been through that in my past relationships. Fortunately or unfortunately, but fortunately because I'm here to speak to you guys and really give you guidance on that. Now, that aside, this situation that right now you're occupying requires your understanding. Your SP isn't punishing you. The universe at large is not fucking punishing you. All right. You need to understand the situation, not reject it. You need to find the golden nuggets out of the situation. Yes, out of this discomfort, out of this really painful, perhaps, situation, you need to find what it is that it's teaching you here. Okay. And I know you hear this a lot, but there's just no other way for you to jump out of this timeline without learning what you need to learn here. Okay. In other words, if you are uncomfortable in the situation, there's no way that you're going to transcend it if you're not going to become a different person and therefore treat this very situation, this very uncomfortable situation, differently. You need to find a different approach. Listen, every single time I found myself in a very kind of dicey situation, whether that was, usually, listen, 15 years ago, I did my deep dive, and since then, truth be told, have not had a situation with an SP that was troublesome. Okay. I've really gone to work like, really, really, really powerfully. It was my powerful desire to once and for all fix this fucking situation. But I've had other situations, okay, that arose in business, in other situations that, were not SP related. And every single time that I overcame the situation was by embracing it, by stopping to fight it. So stop fighting the situation and ask the question, what if this is for my own good? What if this situation is for my own good? What if I don't understand something? What if this is trying to mold me into a better version of myself? Okay, what if this is teaching me how to be better attuned and aligned to my dreams and goals? What if this very situation, had it not happened, I would not understand so many different things about myself. I would not understand how to be a better version of myself. I would not understand how to make it permanent. Because nobody fucking wants the easy fucking fixes. There is no easy fix. There is no quick fix. You need to really approach it with a very kind of grounded perspective. Not, oh, let me just get rid of this situation and move on. It doesn't fucking exist. If that's your perspective, good luck, because you're not going to fix the situation. You are going to get really humble, have to get really humble, and start asking different questions. Good questions usually lead to solutions. And so this trust in the universal guidance, because this very much so is universal guidance, that you happen to be in the situation today is very much universal guidance. All right. And the trust that you need to develop that this is happening for a reason, not to punish me, not to take away my happiness, not because I'm a bad person, that I fucked up or did something bad. But listen, if you fucked up and did something bad, maybe this is your karma. I don't know your story. You know your story. But listen, 99% of my listeners and clients, they're benevolent people. Once in a blue moon, I encountered, people that were not. But I'm speaking to the benevolent crowd here. So, but this is not to punish you, you see. You've done nothing wrong. You didn't fuck up. It's not to punish you. So please don't take it that way. Please don't be angry with the universe. Please don't be angry with the manifestation. Understand, this is to mold you into a better version of yourself so that you can have what you want, beyond what you want. Universe always wants you to have even more than you're asking for right now. What you're asking for right now is minuscule compared to what the universe will deliver to you, okay? Always is the case. To pull yourself out of this timeline, out of this undesirable timeline, effort is required. Yes, very coordinated and deliberate effort. Effort of what? Unfortunately, or fortunately, again, depending on how you look at it, we live in a universe of energy. Okay, when I mentioned I teach energy work, this is what it has to do with. Well, one of the components that is. So you cannot be this person who's rejecting the situation and complaining, okay, or feeling down on yourself or criticizing yourself or blaming somebody and this and that and achieve the jump to the other timeline. It just doesn't exist. Your tune needs to change. You need to approach, yes, this, as hard as this sounds, you understand that I have done this myself several times over. And like you, at first blush, I was very tempted to say, this sucks. This shouldn't be. Let's eject this out of the fucking universe. I want to be done with it. I want to fucking perish this situation. I've had it. It doesn't work like that. You can't eradicate anything out of the universe. It just doesn't work like that. So you need to approach it differently again. You need to approach it with gratitude. I'm learning something here. This is for my own good, with gratitude and faith. And so stop being so fucking ungrateful. Not for nothing, okay? You have a lot of great things to be grateful for right now. This is not the end of the world. Like, I understand that it's very painful. I understand that it may seem like the end of the world. It is not. You have a lot of things to be grateful for. And so you are not being punished. You're simply being redirected towards alignment. Okay, this world right here that you're living out, it will forever remain the sucky world. Can you alchemize this world and can you transcend this? And can you have a new attitude of trust and faith in the universe, that this is not a bad thing, in other words. This something wonderful and simply magical will come out of this situation. If you have this approach, then you have the doorway to the new timeline and you can start building on this frequency, building this muscle every day, okay, of expectancy of something amazing to come out of the situation. Because listen, if the situation is not changing, you have to change. So don't wait for the situation to change if you're not fucking changing. Your tune again has to change. And again, I'm very sympathetic because again, I've been through this shit myself. But as long as I stayed in this sucks, this doesn't belong in the universe, nothing changed. But nothing changed. But nothing changed because it just doesn't work like that again. Okay, in the minute, I said, you know what? I've had enough of feeling down. I'm just going to choose a high tune just for the sake of a difference. Then everything started to change, but everything. And I'm sympathetic towards people. Of course, you're a human being. This is why we process the emotions. It's a very important part of coaching and your daily practice, by the way, to process your emotions. In that sense, honor your humanity, honor being human. But then decide, right? Start making decisions. All right, I've had it. I've had it of this world. I don't want to feel down anymore. I know it's up to me. If it is to be, it is up to me. I am going to be the golden Buddha. I'm going to remind myself what it is I'd rather have. And since this situation is right here and I want to be over there, I have to somehow, some way understand that this right here, the situation is in fact the jumping ground for me to go, yes, over there. It's not like this is separate from that. No. This is very much connected to that. This is part of your journey, you see. There's a reason you're being prepared for something magnificent in this very transformative experience right fucking now, okay? And so, again, your tune and your attention then comes into play. Your attention is your currency and your power. How are you going to spend it? How are you spending it right now? What are you paying attention to? What are you constantly feeding your consciousness day in and day out? It's very tempting to stay down and feel sorry for yourself. I believe that's the worst thing possible that you can do, because you're a golden Buddha, in fact, pretending that, you got to feel sorry for yourself, when in fact, you have this unlimited power of alchemizing anything. It's not like something, isn't going to happen to you again. But the difference is, how long are you going to feel sorry for yourself? How long are you going to feel down on yourself? And so your attention needs to be directed solely and fully towards the fulfillment of your goals and dreams. How, in this situation right now, am I able to turn around my perspective towards what I really want? And stop complaining and stop feeling worried, stop feeling stressed, but rather meticulously and deliberately and in a coordinated way start choosing the elements of my new reality right here, right now. Not all is so bad, my point is. You have a roof over your head, clothes on your back, food in your fridge, at least I hope so. You have loved ones in your life, friends, etc., etc. Okay, so this SP situation is just a cycle that you need to learn, or unlearn rather, and to mold it into what you want. Start feeling grateful with gratitude and trust, okay, with gratitude and faith. Start building this emotion, start building on this frequency deliberately, which maybe you haven't been doing up until today. Every passing minute is another chance to turn it all around. You have permission to live in a new reality now. Are you joining that reality? Or are you like so accustomed to be in that old world where your SP is rejecting you, where you don't have them, where you're so aware of the lack and you continue emotionally engaging in that timeline? The decision has to be made by you. Nobody else, not God, not angels. They're waiting on you to turn the shit around. They're going to help you every step of the way. They're there, always by your side, waiting for you to change your tune. They will not join you on the low frequency. In that sense, you're welcome to live out that low frequency world for as long as you fucking want. And nobody fucking cares. In that sense, your free will is, the dominant power. So if you, in that sense, prefer by engaging in a lower frequency world with lower frequency people, perhaps, etc., disengage. If you prefer that by engaging it, that's kind of like, the signal to the universe. Well, they must prefer this world without their SP and not being proposed to and being rejected, being ghosted, because that's how they feel. This is how you're commending the universe. Again, energy work here comes into play very powerfully. But again, I custom make the whole process for each individual because everybody gets there emotionally in different ways. You have a different way. If you're not going to come into coaching, figure out what makes you fly high. I mean, that's kind of in a nutshell, but it goes a lot deeper, the energy work that I teach. Now, again, I have to really stress, don't try to get there before you're really ready. Like, don't ask for the overnight miracles. It doesn't exist. You know what an overnight miracle is? When you've built and built and built on that frequency day in and day out, like really deliberately put in deposits of this good energy and good faith and good trust, no longer complain. Maybe a little bit you're still complaining, but for the majority of the time, like 90% of the time, all right, maybe 60%. You start at 60, okay? You got to tip it over 50%. And then you build on it and you arrive at 90%. And now you're no longer tempted to complain. You feel like a different person because now your intention and your attention is on actually changing your life, not residing in the old world. But don't try to get there before you're really ready. Let yourself get there comfortably, but with determination. An overnight miracle happens once you've made enough deposits, and suddenly, hoopla, manifestation is at your door. A proposal, a text from your SP, a change of their mind, them dropping the third party, whatever the situation is. But right here in this moment, you can start. And what I can tell you right now, based on my own personal experience, again, with SPs and business and whatever else alike, is that this situation or this SP in your case, okay, is teaching you a very valuable lesson. It's that you're in charge, not them. Okay, you're in charge. You will always be in charge forevermore, for eternity. After this life is over, you move on to another life, on another planet, in another dimension. You're still gonna be in charge. So in fact, don't be lazy in that sense, in a manifestational and energetic sense. It's not a luxury you can afford, okay, to dwell in the lower frequencies. When you stay there long, this is the result kind of situation. Don't give the lack validation. Don't validate this. This is my reality and that's it. Don't give it merit or belief that you've imbued it with your feeling, with your belief, like this is the reality, this is how I live, this is how I've lived for years, for all my life, for decades, whatever it happens to be for you. This is why it became real. Just like you made this reality real, you can make it unreal. You can be like, that, please, that was before. This is now. This is me now, imbuing belief into existence that actually thrills me. The proposals, the text, the love, the affection, the money, the this, a rich, authentic world of a golden Buddha. That's where I'm placing my attention and intention, and my perspective needs to be there for me to live out this timeline and this reality. That old world, yes, a shit show world it was, but it fucking shook me. Okay, sometimes, listen, not for nothing, sometimes you need to scare the shit out of yourself. Sometimes you really need to get so fucking uncomfortable, you'll never fucking forget that lesson, okay? You'll never want to visit that parallel timeline or parallel reality again. But that's how you learn. That's how you keep yourself on track and in check. What am I paying attention to? What am I feeling? What am I allowing myself to dwell on right now? Do I really want this? If not, toss it in the motherfucking garbage. This does not belong. I don't prefer this anymore. Even something like a really well-meaning friend, it could be, right? And they used to gossiping and telling, really kind of sad stories, or you watching sad story, or people sometimes tell me in coaching, I read sad stories on Reddit. Why the fuck are you doing that shit to yourself? Toss that in the motherfucking garbage. Start paying attention to things you want to actually live out. That should be the program. That should be the kind of like situation that is constantly vibrating in your world. What is your fascination around right now? What are you fascinated by? By the sad stories or by the happy couples, by the weddings, by the proposals, and you're shopping for rings or whatever, or wedding gowns? What are you paying attention to 24/7? Which world are you allowing yourself to be a part of? This is what your SP is teaching you right now. This is a phenomenal, fundamental lesson that they're teaching you. They're not fucking punishing you. You should kiss their feet. You should lick gem of their toes, okay? I have this expression that I've had for 3 years that I've been on YouTube, licking jam, like as in preserves, fruit preserves, jam of your toes. Well, maybe this time around you should lick jam of their toes, all right? For this invaluable lesson, guys, really, truly, genuinely, this is the best thing that could have fucking happen to you. You'll never forget what it's like to be out of, alignment. And therefore, Therefore, you'll never forget how to get yourself back into alignment and fucking stick to it like crazy glue, I tell ya. Like crazy glue. This will be your determination. This will be your discipline from now on. So build on this frequency, but don't try to get there in a rush. Everybody's so fucking in a rush. That's why people don't hold on to shit. Build on it and indulge in the unfolding. Okay? Indulge in it. I know, like I know my name, I'm changing realities purposefully, like the golden motherfucking Buddha that I am, like the true master magician. It's so much fun to watch the unfolding when you're doing it on fucking purpose. When you're in a rush, you in fact saying to the universe, I don't fucking believe for 1 second it could happen to me. I'm just in a rush to get rid of this sucky world and jump into the other world just so that I can feel relief. But it's so much more grounding, so much more permanent to get there step by step, and so much more forgiving of your own biology, as it were. It will be too jarring for you to jump into the other timeline, and therefore you won't be able to hold on to it, even if you were able to do it. Sometimes things happen, yes, miraculously so, as it were. They happen, and then hoopla, you're here, and you can't hold on to it because you weren't accustomed and attuned to that frequency and to that world. So don't be in a rush. Get there day by day, little improvements here and there, two by two. And this is why coaching comes into play, not for nothing, very helpful, because you can track your progress. And your progress, even though it's, incremental as it is, steady as it is, it will get you there faster rather than, hoopla, miracle overnight, and then you can hold on to it. You're back to square one. That's no good. Indulge in the unfolding. Because when you are in alignment, you're going to know you earned it. This is fucking yours forever. You know how to do it all over again. You'll never again dwell in the other sucky world as long as you may have been dwelling right now. Okay? You'll get yourself out of that sucky world in 5 fucking minutes, in 5 blinking seconds, depending on your mastery, in a day for fucking shit sure if you focus on it, okay? Because when you're in alignment, everything just ebbs and flows. Everything is right on time. Everything is quick and easy. Now this is an overnight miracle, okay? Then let's start talking overnight miracles. Now you're part of a different timeline because you've tuned yourself into alignment on purpose. And now this is your forever home base frequency. Now let's talk overnight miracles. Now let's talk, proposals and this and that and text. And you just think of them and they're texting you. You just kind of constructed a conversation and it happened the next day and blah, 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 blah. And everything's just clicking and rolling and ebbing and flowing. And you just like, holy shit, fucking bananas. Where was this yesterday? Well, you weren't part of this world yesterday. Okay, you graduated, you passed the test of this situation by not rejecting it, but actually alchemizing it and building on this investment into the new world. And here you are, superstar. Now you have everything you want, and it will be like, holy shit, fucking bananas. I can't believe I ever was this other person who was complaining and mistrusting the universe and maybe arguing with God or angels or the universe or what. I've heard so many different stories in my coaching. I can't believe I was so silly. I just really needed to get a hold of my own emotions, again, my own attention, and therefore my own vibration, because truly this is the best thing, because the universe taught me a really huge lesson here. Yes, the SP as well, but the universe at large taught me a huge lesson that my miracles and my sunshine does not exist in the old world. That's the old world. There's no possible way. It's completely, impossible for me to experience anything good in the other world. Quantum mechanics will not allow for this. It's just structurally doesn't make any fucking bloody sense, all right? So if I want to be a part of the world where my SP loves and adores me, licks gem of my toes, proposes to me, is madly in love with me, it is up to me. If it is to be, it is up to me. Yes, I have the invitation to the beautiful, magnificent golden Buddha world right now, right now. Am I fucking taking this invitation, or am I still complaining about all the other shit that went wrong? In your opinion, nothing ever actually goes wrong. Okay, it's just, again, it's a journey, all right? So that you can understand how much power you truly hold, so that you, on any given day, whatever's going on, even momentarily, if you get triggered by something, if you see something, you can start deliberately, okay, choosing, am I wanting to be part of this world or part of the world that I'm constructing right now, that is right now, right here, inviting me? I have at any moment the choice between two worlds, symbolically speaking. There are innumerable amounts of worlds, but let's just go with this. The sucky world or the one that I really prefer. Which way am I going to go? If it is to be, it is up to me. And when you're no longer stressing yourself out, your attention rather is directed in the right direction. You're aligned. When you're no longer worried or stressed, it just comes naturally, you see. No effort, just pure energy. Thank you very much for listening. All the information for me again is below. Until next time, ciao, ciao.